Welcome back to another video. Today's review is focused on NBC original Young Rock Season 2 Episode 7 entitled An Understanding. And the official synopsis of Episode 7 is 1987, Ada and Rocky's marriage hits a rough patch. When teenage Dwayne questions his dad's decision-making, Ada tells him the story of how she and Rocky met. In 2032, candidate Johnson decides to face his challenger head on. And before I give out my review, please like the video, subscribe or comment, or just watch the video and keep going on with your night. Episode 7 was another solid episode in my opinion. It had a few interesting moments here and there, finding out a lot more about Rocky's past life and how he and Ada eventually met. And the episode basically starts off with just The Rock's campaign still suffering a lot because of Julian's presence. Ever since Julian has came into the picture, his campaign has suffered drastically. He has a campaign rally, and the campaign rally, it goes decent. And then we go to 1987, where Dwayne tried to become a Nashville singer, but that dream was shattered immediately in a pretty funny but horrible messed up segment. He tries to sing in front of a store to get more people to pay him, to get more people to pay attention. But all of the Nashville singers is just like, nah, get the F on. We have enough singers. We don't need no more. It was all pretty embarrassing and sad for Dwayne. Meanwhile, Rocky's and Ada's marriage is still on the rocks ever since Rocky basically lied to her about having an apartment and also just not just being on check when it came to many different things. Those two have a pretty awkward conversation, to say the least. And we also see how Nashville in 1987 was really not so welcoming, as during the segment, Dwayne and Rocky basically have to hide while Bruno is driving in a neighborhood for, I would have to assume, obvious reasons. And it shows that The Rock knew Jerry the King Lawler's son, Brian Christopher, who would be known as either Grandmaster Sexay or a part of Too Cool with Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty. That was pretty interesting to see those two know each other at all. And we find out somewhat a lot more about what happened at Saudi Arabia between Rocky and what happened. And apparently it was because it was for a rival promotion and he broke his contract with the WWF a couple of weeks before WrestleMania even happened. And because of that, basically Vince made an example out of him. He fired him and he basically felt betrayed of what Rocky did, wrestling in Saudi Arabia. This just makes Dwayne questions his father's things, his father's choices, why did he do this? He wasn't thinking about us, etc., etc. And this is where Ada tells the crazy story of how she and Rocky basically met. Rocky's life is a pretty sad one, as he was abandoned by his family at 13. He had to do whatever he can to make money. He met High Chief Peter Maivia. He started wrestling for him. They were tag team partners. That's where he met Ada. Leah was extremely against wrestlers dating her kid, and they had to keep the relationship a secret until a wrestler by the name of Husky Calhoun accidentally reveals the relationship in front of everybody. And the parents are mad, of course, but until they saw Little Rock, they all forgave everything that happened. And so The Rock decides to not be so hard on his father. Ada and Rocky, their relationship is getting a little bit better as they decide to work things out. And so we go back to 2032, 4 days before the election happens, and basically The Rock basically confronts Julian. He says his name. He delivers a savage promo talking about how he's going to lay the smackdown on him, etc., etc. And that is how the episode basically ends. Episode 7 was a pretty interesting episode. I would say some of my favorite things that I enjoyed about this episode was seeing and finding out a lot more about how Rocky and Ada met. I thought that was interesting. Dwayne trying to become a Nashville singer and basically getting violated by all of the other singers, telling him he can't do this, like leave and everything else. Kind of funny, but at the same time, really jacked up. And I'm curious if the election is going to be shown in the next episode and what is going to happen with Julian still just causing a negative presence towards The Rock. But who knows? Only time will tell. But I would say, as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, goodbye.